Hello, I'm Rich Dean with West Coast Collector Cars in Oregon, and today I have a very rare and very beautiful 1963 and a half Ford Galaxie 500 lightweight to show you. Now, I'm sure if you're looking at this video, you probably are familiar with a lightweight, but I'm going to go over some of those exclusive traits to explain some of that to you. Their last known, or the best known number, is there were 212 produced, and of course they were just used and built for drag racing. That was it. They really weren't, designed for someone to buy them and take their family around and grocery shop and whatnot. They were strictly drag race use. There's maybe a couple of dozen left today. This one, absolutely magnificent, really museum quality or very exclusive collection quality. But let's get to it. I want to show you this. Now, every one of the Galaxie Lightweights was painted in this color, which is Corinthian white. And this one, of course, finished in a base coat clear coat. I'm certain that it looks a heck of a lot nicer than it ever did when it was brand new. Paint is absolutely beautiful on it. Now, the interior on all of them were the red color, and I'm going to show you that here in a second, but I'm going to try to give you a sense of the depth here of the paint. Now, since we're here, a couple of the traits that are very important to know about these is what they did, and the reason they call them lightweight. The Galaxie's a big car. It was 3,900 and some pounds. But what they did, or what Ford did, is from the factory, they used some techniques to lighten them to make them lightweights. And what that is for drag racing is they used fiberglass on the hood. So the hood is fiberglass, the front fenders are fiberglass, the back trunk lid is fiberglass, and the bumpers, these are aluminum, and the bracketry and so forth, also aluminum. Anything they could think of to lighten this car to give it a competitive edge against the big Pontiacs and the big Chevys. Chevrolet, Pontiac, and so forth, even Chrysler, they had their versions of lightweights, and they used aluminum predominantly to lighten theirs, and Ford went ahead with fiberglass. But I got to tell you, boy, the fiberglass on that is smooth. No ripples or, that typical fiberglass wear that you sometimes get. Yeah, it did have the Galaxie 500 moniker here, but more importantly, these cars came with a 427 solid lifter cam dual quad, very high performance, and that particular engine, pretty exclusive. And I'll get into that when I show you the engine a little bit here. The wheels and tires, they are Kelsey Hayes, and they were steel, painted the same color as the car with just the little caps over them. And these are radials, which back then you wouldn't have had a radial, you would have had, a bias ply tire. But there is trim on the car. Excellent, all of it absolutely beautiful. And they were a hard top. I would say that this car is exquisitely restored. You have the car light glass here. You can see that, which Ford used. Now, these seats, these are called Bostrom bucket seats. As you can see, these are not, Galaxies like this would have typically had a bench, and some of the XLs, of course, would have had buckets, but not these. These are almost kind of they're really just a lightweight seat that they used because of racing. And of course they did have a full back seat, so I guess if you wanted to take your entire family down the drag strip, that was a possible, could be. Now up here on the dash, radio delete, heater delete, and they pulled the carpeting and any kind of sound deadening, any of that they removed and just used this small or thin mat for the carpeting. Headliner's beautiful. They did do a fantastic. This car is so beautifully restored, and the person that restored the car, same owner for nearly 40 years, was an engineer, and so if you know what I know about engineers, they're pretty particular, at least all the ones I've ever known. So everything had to be just perfect, and that would explain the level of this car. It is absolutely beautiful. All the trim and bright work on the car is excellent. And again, you know, that's fiberglass there. Back here, once again, you did have aluminum bumpers. They are not steel, they are not heavy, and that was the nature of the whole point. So why did Ford build such a car? I mean, what was the point? Well, bottom line is money. You know, they used the, just like they did with Boss 302 Mustangs, or Chevrolet originally did with the Z28s, Chrysler, and so forth. What they did is they wanted to bring people's attention to their brand. And, you know, if you could bring their attention to their brand in regards to, with respect to drag racing, that would definitely get a mark there, because you know, a lot of people would, you know, race on Sunday and they'd go, oh, I saw that car going down the drag strip, I want a Galaxie like that in this case. And so Ford would be able to promote that, and that's really why they would do that. But you kind of had to be in the know to get one of these. You kind of had to have some degree of exclusivity, or going to use it for drag racing. It was for promotion for Ford. Kind of like we're more familiar with, a lot of us more familiar with the ZL1 Camaros in 1969. Same thing. You know, you kind of had to know somebody to get one. Pretty cool. Let me show you in the trunk while we're here. Now, I want to point this out to you. This is the trunk compartment, completely bare, no spare, no jack assembly, no mat. Very nicely done. Again, fiberglass here. Now, I'm holding this trunk lid up. There is a prop rod in the interior for it, but I just wanted to hold it up for you. And the reason being is they removed the springs. That was one of the other things they did to lighten the car. All the weather stripping, nice and clean and pliable, of course. All the fasteners are excellent. No rust, of course. While we're here, I should tell you a little bit about the website, westcoastcollectorcars.com, where I've got pictures of the Galaxie here, of course, but equally important, I've got pictures of the undercarriage, and the undercarriage is as nice as the top of the car. It's absolutely magnificent. It's beautiful. The factory markings, you know, when it was coming down the assembly line, they would hit a paint daub to show, oh yeah, that bolt's tight and whatnot. Those are all there. He did an excellent job on that. Transmissions, these were fitted with a Borg Warner T10 with aluminum case, which we later called the Super T10. I think the difference between the difference between a T10 and a Super T10 is a T10 had a cast iron case, where the Super T10 had an aluminum case. And this one does have the aluminum case, but they called it T10. The differential, of course, Ford's big 9-inch. These were fitted with 411 gears. Everything's been rebuilt. Everything has been plated, painted, what have you, the exact way it was from the factory in 1963. These are known as a 63 and a half, but that would be 1963. Taking the interior in this side. Now, I should point out, everything works on the car, but keep in mind there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a heater, there wasn't air conditioning, all your lights work, as you can see in here. That's a rotunda tachometer, which would have been utilized back in 1963. Naturally, of course, it's all restored like everything else on the car. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Once these finished their duty as a race car, I would presume that, you know, they eventually made their way to the street. So, you know, people did drive them around, I suppose, but probably, you know, different variations of repair, different levels, different variations of engines and whatnot. But yeah, this car was all business. Door panels are excellent, as you can see. Again, it is definitely a museum or very exclusive collection quality here. Panel fitment, panel alignment, I mean, is excellent. Probably better than it would have been even from the factory. Yeah, everything just aligns perfectly, even the fiberglass. So I guess on the street, if you saw this, I mean, this car would probably, be categorized as a sleeper, because you just see the dog dish hubcaps and whatnot and think, oh, that's just some little old Galaxie. But you found out otherwise once the light turned green. I want to point out a couple things up here. Take a look at these headlights even. He's got the moniker, the FOMO Co. in there, all the headlights. Grille is excellent. Trim pieces are excellent. Again, got aluminum bumper here. Now, these came with hood pins, of course, and I'm going to show you a definite reason why they have hood pins. Take a look at this. There is no latch. You just pull it up. Why? Well, we're saving weight here. Also, no hood spring. So what these had was a little prop rod here. I won't undo it because I can hold the hood up while I show you the engine, but as you can see in here, that is your 427. I'll kind of dubbed the medium riser, which was the predecessor to the side oiler that Carroll Shelby used in his AC Cobras. Big Ford drum brakes. That's how they came. Dual point distributor. Again, solid lifter cam, aluminum manifold. Two big Holley 4-barrels. Notice over there, your heater delete plate. Battery was up front and mounted here correctly. The level of restoration on this car is exemplary. Those are factory headers there that you see. And of course, no power steering, no power brakes, no air conditioning, no cup holders, none of that kind of stuff. And, during this video, I can't hit every element of the car. It's just so much. But again, if you go to the website, westcoastcollectorcars.com, you will be able to see a little bit more. I have listed, all of the elements that make this a lightweight, or at least I think I got them all, but a little bit easier to see there, and you'll be able to take a look at it and read that on the text ad. But what I'd like to do now is I'll hop in the Galaxie. Start it. You get to hear it run, and I'm just going to drive it around the parking lot a little bit. I'm not going to get crazy with it or anything, of course, but anyway, at least you'll get to hear it start, hear it run, see it move under its own power. Very cool car, very exclusive car, and one of Ford's early drag racing cars. Very impressive, and this one is absolutely beautiful. It is second to none. Let's do that. Oh, I should also mention to you as well, what we're going to do as soon as we're finished with the test drive, or the drive, I'm going to pull into the shop. I want to show you some of the provenance I have for this car. I won't be able to go through everything, you'll be record bored if I do that, probably, but what we'll do is we're going to wind up in there, and I'll just kind of show you some of that real quick. as you can see, they really didn't put a very tight steering radius on it because you're probably not going to be going around too many corners on the drag strip. So I think they were about a 19-to-1, which in this little tight area, you know, I was having to be pretty careful. I did make that one time, but just so you know. Take a look at this. I can't really show you everything, but I do want to point out this is some of the provenance. These are, it was a title search done before they disallowed it at the DMV. So I'll have all the records of who's owned the car in the past. Some of the you know, Ford promotional stuff, some pictures of the car. This is a brochure that the car is in when it was at the Portland Roadster Show. It did win 2 trophies at the Concours d'Elegance here in Forest Grove, Oregon. Best in Class and Outstanding Ford Award. That's very cool. And then I've got 4 booklets here. This is a window sticker for the car. Would have been in the window at the dealership. Just some nice letters and lots of data. There is so much data on this car. Boy, it'll take you forever to go through it all. Drawings, as I say, the gentleman was an engineer, so he had drawings of how, you know, things were supposed to look and different things. Price listings and all kinds of different, you know, receipts and so forth for work done. Just, you know, massive, massive receipts. And there's just all kinds of. I would encourage you, if you're interested in the car, to take a look again. You know, I've mentioned this before, but take a look at the website. I do have a lot of pictures there, you know, and some data there that'll cover more of what I've missed here. But all kinds of articles and just a lot of history, the way they were produced, why they were produced, what was included in a lightweight. This little show card here. At any rate, enough to keep just about anyone busy, but if I can answer any questions or more questions for you about this 1963.5 Ford Galaxie, I'd be happy to do so. Please don't hesitate to give me a call. Again, my name is Rich Dean, and this is West Coast Collector Cars. My number is 503-851-6763, and thank you for watching today.